There's the first piece of floor plywood down. Forever. It's glued, screwed, struggling for focus. Wow. Yeah, so I'm only putting the 1/2-inch plywood where it's needed. I don't need the weight under cupboards when there's going to be a floor in the cupboard as well, so I'm just putting it where there's actually flooring needed. So that's under the shower and then heading towards the back door of the boat. And yes, it's glued on the joists, stringers, and construction adhesive over at this side edge because I don't want to put screws down through this fiberglass, because if any water ever finds its way from rain or plumbing leak or who knows what, I don't want any holes through this fiberglass that I put on the inside of the hull to make sure that the water doesn't get into the plywood core of the hull. So I just put construction adhesive underneath that shim that fits the V of the bottom of the boat. And yeah, like that. And I use my waterproof glue everywhere else. 1 5/8 inch drywall screws, and lots of them every 6 inches. So yeah, one piece down, whole bunch to go. So I'm making progress on the floor. I've got it almost to the front area of the inside cabin. And what I've been doing now is the next sheets are going to start working up into the V of the hull, or the bow of the hull, where they'll have to curve to fit to the hull. And I decided before I did those sheets, I should get the bow thruster, at least make sure everything's going to fit there. So it will be removed. It's no sealant or anything, but I've got the holes drilled and the gearbox gizmo, that's the shaft for it sticking up there, and it's in place. I checked the propeller for clearance and it's fine. I've done some support along here to catch the floor, and then it will run across and over till it hits the hull, and I'll seal it to the hull and screw it to all this bracing. So when you step down in through the hatch, which is open right now, and step down in, there will be a flat floor to stand on instead of trying not to break your neck slipping on the slope of the nose. So yeah, so that prep work is all done. Now I can fit my next 2 rows of 4x8 plywood, which takes me right up to the stem up there. And then, exciting times, I get to start building some walls. Can't wait. That'll be a nice step. So the main floor is done. All the stuff that's right down on the stringers. There will be a few spots back here at the back where the dinette goes. I'm going to have the floor raised up 3 inches to make it so when you sit there you can see out the window a little nicer. And up at the helm on the right here, there's the helm window up there. I'm going to possibly raise the floor up a few inches, 2 or 3, all to do with, it depends when I get the helm station, like the console or whatever, built. I'd like a flat floor right to the side of the boat if possible, but it'll depend kind of on just how it all plays out. So I'll decide that when I get building that. And yeah, other than that, you know, wherever there's cupboards and closets and cupboards all the way down that side, no need to have a floor down there. There will be a floor on the bottom of those units, and so no need in having 2 floors. It's just extra weight. I got the bow thruster sitting in place on the tube that you can see hiding down in there. So thruster's just sitting there. It's not bolted in or anything, but fit the floor around it, and it works out quite nice when well, here, I'll crawl in under that. Oh. So now I'm standing in the hatch area, and the hatch is there. It tilts forward, gas struts hold it up while it's opened. So if you look straight down from the hatch area, you can't see the bow thruster. It's tucked in underneath, so there's no chance, you know, that's like standing straight down with my foot. There's no chance of kicking it, knocking the wires off. You'd have to be kind of trying to do that. It's in out of the way, out of harm's way. So yeah, that should all work good. I'm happy with my attempts at fitting to the angle of the hull. I nailed it pretty well, I think, and I've put construction adhesive, PL Premium, just to kind of secure it so it doesn't squeak or just, you know, scrub or do whatever. I don't know how much, if any, flex there will be there, but just figure if you glue and screw and glue, you know, various types of glue, wood glue, PL Premium, everything you can to make it one solid unit, it'll be more stable and less likely to have any funny things happening. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I've got all the floor down. So now I have to do a little house cleaning, and then once that's done, I'm going to start working on some walls. Woohoo! Much as it was already planned out, Lisa and her granddaughter Avery had a little fun taking the bathroom components for a test drive. And then after the fun was over, I got into the actual construction of the bathroom. When I got done building the bathroom, I built the enclosure for the fridge, and of course Avery took that for a test drive too. So now I'm working on the dash, I guess, of the boat on each side of the stairs that will go up to the door. And so on Saturday I worked on the port side of the boat, I guess it'd be. So the couch goes along there, and this will be forward of it, and I'm going to leave a kind of a cubby in this area that you can put your phone and stuff when you sleep, because our bed is, when the couch turns into a double bed there. And then of course up top there's a big flat area that you could lay out charts or whatever. And then over on this side is where the helm is going, so I'm just getting started into it. Long ways to go yet. I just did a little step, very nerve-wracking, kind of scary. So I've got to build a little bit of wall. I don't know if that shows nothing. So the boat, there's the hull, and then the walk around and the upper cabin. And in some areas I'm using the full width of the boat right out to the hull in under the walk around to get extra width. But in this particular area I have to pass all the steering, electrical, all kinds of stuff through here that I need a way to pass it through, and a way that in the future I can pass something through. So I've decided I'm going to make the wall basically go straight down between the upper cabin and down to the bottom, and that'll leave a nice area through behind that I can pass all kinds of stuff through now and in the future. So the scary thing was I just put a little bottom plate in to catch this wall and screwed it into the hull. And yeah, I don't want to put a screw through the bottom of the boat. So I've got my math and my memory and all that say it'll be just fine, because under this 1/2 inch thick plywood is the reverse chine, which is a 2x4 diagonally ripped to be like 1 3/8 inches thick out at the outside of the boat to nothing at the inside. And those are, I think, 1.5 inch screws there and 1 inch screws there. I know they're no shorter than 1 inch. So that means between here and the underside of the wood there's 1 inch in theory. And so I put a 2.5 inch screw through here on an angle, so it's heading for where it gets thicker. It penetrates about 1 inch from here, so it should be good. There's no way I can go outside and look and see if I messed up, because The bunk for the trailer runs right along underneath here, and the only way I will ever be able to know if I messed up, and I'm about as confident as I can be that I didn't, but the only way I'll ever know is once the boat's in the water off the trailer, and then I could either run my hand along under there or get a mask and take a look. But all my logic tells me it's fine, but it's scary. And I put silicone where the screws run through. I put them in, took them out, silicone, and put them back in, just on the off chance that somehow any rainwater or who knows what somehow ends up running down here and against here. I don't want it. Oops, got my finger into the silicone. I don't want it finding its way into the core of the hull. So I siliconed under there to seal up the holes. I can't imagine how any water would ever get there, other than if it dripped from above at the window up here. So that's always a possibility, either leakage or somebody leaves it open in the rain or who knows what. So I put some silicone in there just in case. But someday when this boat's actually in the water, I 99.9% sure will go, yep, it's all good. I've done a couple other things, some nails and screws in places. I actually did finally go outside and take a look, and yeah, no mishaps. So hopefully when it's all said and done, I can still say no mishaps. I continued building the floor and wall of the helm area, which ties into the cupboards that are located behind the helm forward of the fridge. At this point, I stopped working on the interior of the boat and went to work at getting a finish on the hull that I could be happy with. Thanks again for supporting our channel. We hope you're enjoying watching our boat take shape as much as we are. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Take care.